All right, guys, I was thinking of doing a Chiefs mock draft sometime next week after the NFL Combine concludes, and I said, you know what? My audience may not want me to do a full 7-round mock draft around the Chiefs, so I'll kind of let you guys answer for me. If you want a Chiefs mock draft next week, like the video. We need 1,000 likes on today's show. If we get less than that, then I just assume you guys don't want a mock draft. You guys want other types of content, and that's perfectly fine with me. But if you do want one, hit that thumbs up icon, and let's do a mock draft sometime next week. My name's Harrison Graham, and you are watching the Chiefs Report by Chat Sports. Happy Friday, everybody. Hope everybody is gearing up for a great weekend. The NFL Combine continues to roll along, and we heard from quarterbacks, receivers, and tight ends today. And a couple of players I want to outline here that the Chiefs have met with and that have talked about Kansas City directly. Let's start with Tennessee wide receiver Jalin Hyatt. The Tennessee wideout said he's met with the Chiefs, one of the fastest receivers in this draft. This is interesting because Hyatt is a fun player. Now, he's not completely polished. He doesn't run the full route tree, but he is a very fast player. I'm excited to see him run in the 40 tomorrow. And he was very productive this year for Tennessee with almost 1,300 yards and 15 touchdowns, almost 19 yards per catch. And that's very impressive when you consider the volume, too. I mean, he was not a guy who was just catching a couple balls a game. I mean, he was heavily featured in that offense. Obviously, we've talked about it quite a bit. The Chiefs need to make a couple of decisions at receiver. I don't expect McCole Hardman to return. I think Justin Watson could on a cheap deal. But other than that, they need to figure out what they're going to do with Juju Smith-Schuster, who's going to be a free agent. Here's what Jalin Hyatt would bring to Kansas City. He is a legitimate deep threat, maybe the best pure go ball player in this draft. And what's a go ball? Hey, deep, just go. Just go, beat the defender. He did that a lot in the SEC. Now, obviously, it's going to be hard to do that in the NFL consistently, but you can't teach speed, and he's got it. He can flat out burn. So I don't know if he's a true, draft him and he can become a number one wide receiver right away or ever. But I do know he's a dangerous weapon, and he could be a fun piece to add to this offense that doesn't really have just that true, pure deep threat. MVS obviously can do that some, and I think Tony will do more of that next year. But Jalin Hyatt is an excellent deep ball threat, and I would be curious to see if the Chiefs would draft him. Now, who is your favorite overall wide receiver prospect in this draft? Let me know down in the comments section below. Who is your favorite wide receiver prospect in this NFL draft? Let's shift to tight ends now, as the Chiefs have met with Utah's Dalton Kincaid. Kincaid is one of the top tight end prospects in this draft, and look, I'll say it, he could be a long-term Travis Kelce replacement. I watched a few of his games this year, and he can take over games. He had 890 yards and 8 touchdowns. He had one game against USC in the regular season where I think he had 16 catches. They could not stop him. Utah's offense was throw the ball to Dalton Kincaid, and it worked throughout the night. I flat out love this kid. He's my favorite tight end in this draft. We'll talk about another tight end in a second who might be a more complete tight end, but just in terms of a receiving weapon, he's one of the top 5 receiving weapons in this draft, not just tight ends, weapons overall. He can be that dangerous and that much of a mismatch, and I actually really like the Chiefs tight end room. Don't get me wrong. Travis Kelce's the GOAT, and he doesn't look like someone who's going to slow down, but he's not getting any younger. Noah Gray, Jody Fortson, they're good players, but I don't think either of them can be a true number 1 tight end. Dalton Kincaid, though, he's got that potential. There's no doubt about it. Today's show is sponsored by Athletic Greens, and a scoop of AG1 every single morning really gets my day started on the right track. Get comprehensive and convenient daily nutrition at athleticgreens.com/chatsports. I've been taking AG1 for the past 6 weeks now, and I've never felt more energetic. Football season was a grind, and to keep that energy up in the offseason, I needed a little extra boost to the start of my day, and that's what AG1 has been able to provide. Not only is AG1 helping me get back into good habits, I'm already seeing better digestion as well. Improving my gut health is something that I've needed to do, and now that's happening with the simple scoop every single day. Covering my nutritional basis for the day couldn't be easier, which is why I trust Athletic Greens. I just mix 1 small scoop of AG1 with water and drink it first thing each morning. I also like that it costs less than $3 per day. Pretty good deal if you ask me. It's a really effective daily habit with the highest quality sourced ingredients. It is a win-win. So, if a comprehensive solution is what you need from your supplement routine, then Athletic Greens is giving you a free year's supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs when you use our link below. It's athleticgreens.com/chatsports. athleticgreens.com/chatsports. That link is in the comments, in the description. It tastes really good as well. athleticgreens.com/chatsports. Let's go from Dalton Kincaid to Michael Mayer, the Notre Dame tight end, and he could be the first tight end off the board this year. I like Kincaid a tick better, but Mayer's really good also, and he's probably the more complete tight end. He's a little bit better of a blocker. I just think Kincaid is such a mismatch nightmare, but Mayer's very good too. 800 yards, 9 touchdowns. They had very similar stats. This tight end class is loaded, man. I mean, you got these two kids. Darnell Washington is in this draft. Luke Musgrave out of Oregon State is another name to monitor as well. I do think Kincaid and Mayer are the top two guys. And Mayer actually openly talked about the Chiefs and Travis Kelce earlier today at the NFL Combine. Tom Downey and Sam Brown were able to get this footage from Indianapolis. So here's Michael Mayer.
I'd have to go with another 87, man, Travis Kelce. The way he runs his routes, the way he does his thing, man, it's like no other. He's expanding the tight end game greatly, and so I've got to go with Trav. Got to meet him last summer, great guy, and just to watch him, watch film on him, see how he plays his game. He's tremendous at the tight end position, and he's doing amazing things for the tight end position too.
Yeah, and I think a lot of these tight ends obviously would like to add something to their game from Travis Kelce. And look, hear me out. I'm not saying tight end is a top need for this team, but you can be picky about who you draft when you have a Super Bowl winning roster like Kansas City. Kelce isn't getting any younger. He doesn't look like someone who's slowing down, but eventually he will start to. Brett Veach should heavily consider drafting a top tight end this year because this class is too good to ignore. You got about 5 tight ends that are going to go in the top 60 picks. I would heavily consider drafting one of them. I don't know if they will. Obviously, a lot of it depends on how the draft falls and what they do in free agency. But, man, I think these guys can help you right away. And then in 2 or 3 years, they could supplant Kelce maybe as the top tight end on your team. Just something to consider, something that I would certainly do. Plus, you could start to kind of lower Kelce's snaps, which could extend his career as well. I think it could be a win-win. So pick a tight end. Who would you rather have? Type MM for Michael Mayer, DK for Dalton Kincaid. Which tight end intrigues you more? Let me know down in the comments below. All right, the DeAndre Hopkins trade rumors, well, they just will not go away. Reports from the NFL Combine are that the Cardinals want a second-round pick for DeAndre Hopkins. I saw another report that the Chiefs, Patriots, and Giants with their second-round picks have been commonly connected to this trade. Chiefs, of course, have the 63rd pick in this year's draft. And, part of me would be like, I'd rather trade a third, but with the Chiefs picking late in the second, like number 63 for D-Hop, that's not bad, guys. That's something I would, really be interested in. And, obviously, last couple of years haven't gone exactly to plan. He had the suspension this year. 2021 dealt with some injuries, but he's fantastic. When he's fully healthy, he is a top 5, top 10 at worst receiver in this league. And look, I would make the move because I think getting DeAndre Hopkins onto this offense would make it unstoppable. You would add a guy that you could go to on money down, someone who can make contested catches, strongest hands in the league. And then, if guys like Sky Moore and Kadarius Toney take that next step, MVS is a deep threat, Travis Kelce in the tight ends, Pacheco out of the backfield, hopefully McKinnon returns. Yes, sir. I sneeze every once in a while, and I don't edit it out because you know what? It's all good fun here. Final thought. Get DeAndre Hopkins. I think it would be absolutely fantastic. And his cap hit's less than $20 million if you add him. It's not bad. And you could extend him and lower that cap hit. So something I would consider. We'll see if Veach is willing to do so. You let Juju walk, trade for D-Hop. I think I can make this offense incredibly fun in 2023. Now, would you trade the number 63 pick for DeAndre Hopkins? Let me know, Kingdom. Type T for trade or type P for pass. You'd rather not trade a second-round pick for a 30-plus-year-old receiver. I certainly think that is a valid reason, but I would personally do it and go chase another Super Bowl next year. All right, that's it for today's Chiefs Report by Chat Sports. I am Harrison Graham. Appreciate everybody who tuned in to today's video. We'll have a video tomorrow and on Sunday as well. Already have filmed those, so be on the lookout for that. And then we'll be back in the studio on Monday for a live edition of the Chiefs Report. All right, we'll see you next time here on the channel.